Oh, I'm
Guten
muted.
Morgen, meinen Damen und Herren. Steven doesn't know what a mute button is. Actually, that's good.
I clicked the
No, I think
button,
more
but apparently
Steven.
I muted myself instead of unmuted myself.
Maybe stop making fun of people's faces in chat and you would be ready to start the episode.
Yeah, so welcome in Aventur, Adventures in Lollygagging. I'm a little frazzled because they were coming at me before the show saying that I pick on Melissa, that I'm mean to Melissa, and that's not true. And Melissa, I worry that we got off on the wrong foot. Like that one time a few years ago when we like really didn't know each other and I tried to lock you in a room with a giant spider in Death in Space. You know, I feel like that was misinterpreted.
Slammed a door
maybe
right in my face and left me to die.
I feel like maybe you like thought that I didn't like you because of that. And it really wasn't about you. It was just about slamming the door in your face.
Oh no, I think the allegations currently being kind of flung at you is that you want to kill my characters. I don't think it's a personal thing. I just think it's when you have an opportunity to shoot one of my characters in the face, you will.
I thought it was a personal thing.
Relish at that.
I feel like we should bond anyways to tell everyone, like, you know, that we're good, right? Yeah.
I think we've
What's
done
your
this
favorite horror
before. I see, Stephen, if you knew me at all, you would know that horror is not actually my preferred genre of movie.
Yeah, so, but it's my preferred genre, and this is about me more than you.
This is true. You are GMing this game, so.
And I'm a narcissist.
You're becoming friends on Steven's terms?
Right.
So if you had to pick a horror movie, what would it be?
I had to pick a horror movie, what would it be? I mean, really the way that I like horror movies is in the direction of like a Scream kind of movie, where like it's not particularly like horrifying. It has a little elements here and there, but you know, you can kind of
Scream?
Be okay with it.
That's what you're going with? Really?
Yes.
I hate Scream. I feel like it's so overrated. What's your favorite horror movie? Let's be friends.
They did make a lot of them. So
Melissa actually read my mind. I was going to go with Scream as well.
Really?
That's so funny.
I love Scream, dude. That's my favorite movie.
Heck yeah.
I'm sorry. This whole gag was Long's idea in DMs.
What?
And he never DMs me. So I couldn't say no. You know, like
I don't think anyone's going to leave there.
I'm learning that every time you need an alibi, you just say that Long has DM'd you.
I don't think Long knows how to DM. Yeah.
All right. I've wasted enough time and been mean to Melissa.
Whoa. You're not going to ask my trade eye what our favorite?
I mean,
like we're chop liver. I don't care.
Chop liver?
Wow. I mean, so Jeff and Maitre, what horror movies are your favorite horror movies?
Well, Scream, obviously.
That's a great
Scream
one.
Is very good.
I love that one.
Yeah. So now, like, do I say the real answer or do I go with the bit?
The real answer.
The real answer is the thing. Anyone who knows me knows.
No, I was going to say the thing. Get out of here.
Oh, yeah. It's like my favorite.
Get out of here. That's really cool. Mm-hmm. No, I was really coming into the bit, so.
See, Chad agrees. The thing has got some seconds on that.
Just phenomenal. Just a phenomenal movie.
We
should stop and I'll just should we just jump into like an Amazon watch party?
I wouldn't mind.
Yeah. Steven, what's your favorite horror movie?
So we're gonna go ahead and jump right in. You know, you guys can see that Ashley isn't here today. She wanted to be, but then I told her that we're going to be razzing on Melissa, and she said I can't be part of that. Something about some contractual agreement. So we kicked her from the group. She's out of the campaign entirely. I don't appreciate that kind of loyalty to friends. I feel like you should betray your friends more often. So you know, I can't play with someone under those conditions. Where did we leave off? I'm GMing this game, aren't I? So last session, we were in the darkest house.
You're supposed to be. I'm not sure if that's what you're actually doing.
My flow is entirely off tonight, y'all. I had a weird day. Like I had a few things that just kind of threw me off, and you know, we're gonna see where this goes. It'll be fun. we left at the moment where Zander had just opened a door to a new room in this house, the darkest house. And the room was bare concrete walls, bare concrete floors, but there were... I can't even find my own notes. That doesn't help. There were chains hanging from the ceilings and hooks from those chains. And in the center of the room was this like operating table. Except it wasn't actually a table. It was like a concrete slab, just this almost perfect rectangle. And there was a cadaver on top of it. This cadaver had all sorts of runic symbols carved into there. Jeff, I can't see you because I've got too many windows up, but I can tell Melissa's laughing. So you're doing something. And cut it out. This cadaver had all sorts of runic symbols carved into it, and there was a tall man with this bald head, kind of like a beak-like face, who had a knife, and he was carving into the chest of this cadaver. He was... What are we doing here? This is a horror game. We're not supposed to be laughing this much. Everyone, be scared right now. All right, so he's carving into a cadaver with a really long knife. It's kind of curved. Zander, you charged at this man to try and disarm him. But as you would have made contact, the image of this room, all of the chains, all the hooks, this man and the cadaver, they flickered away like they were some sort of hologram. But it clearly was not any technical creation, as this room became bare concrete, except for where that cadaver was in the center of the room is now a man standing. And this man... He has this red tunic, kind of looks like what you would wear to like a Ren fair more than just a clothing that you would see on the street. It's got these gold frills. He's got pauldrons, and he's got this pale white skin, but you can't see much of it. You can only see his hands and his lower face. For over his head is this steel mask with all sorts of metal bits and frames that interlock together. It looks sharp and jagged and pointy, and you can see these metal bits, they overlock and they move. You can see them actually moving, and it seems that they dig into his flesh, because from under the mask just pours out droplets of blood that just continually drip. And each time you see the grimace of his mouth as this mask moves and you see a new droplet of blood pour down. It goes down his chin, down his neck, into his tunic. It goes down his face, into his mouth. It looks like his teeth are gritting so much that he's actually causing his gums to bleed, and the blood is pouring out of his mouth there. And Zander, you ran right past him. The rest of you were looking into this room as well, as you had defeated these insects that were attacking you. You can all see this man standing there, but he turns and he reaches out a hand, this pale hand with a large ring, this like emerald colored ring, just this ornate ring, almost like a sigil, like the ring that like a royal member of a household would wear to identify their family. And he reaches out this hand and he points to you, Zander. What is your greatest fear?
Why should I tell you?
Because I can offer you whatever you desire, but you must spare no detail.
My greatest fear. I have many, but the most is sleep paralysis. I have nightmares of being unable to be moving. It consumes me.
And as you say this, you kind of like stiffen up under his gaze, but as you give a little bit more detail and a little bit more, you also start to feel a bit looser. As you feel a bit more free, a little bit more flexible, I suppose. All of you can see this. Naveen, Emily, Lucian, you're likely still in the other room, but it really is just a single doorway between you. You can hear this clearly as well. The chaos of this fight, the droning of the flies has gone, and you still have the adrenaline pumping. You probably still have your blood rushing, but there's an eerie sort of calm that's taken over now, especially as that image faded. Now it just feels like there's emptiness. This pleases me. And he turns this metallic head. You can kind of hear the mask kind of grind a little bit as he turns, and it like it shifts itself to go with his neck in the range of motion, and he looks towards the door. He points out this hand again, and it lands on Lucian. You. Tell me your greatest fear. And again, spare no detail.
What is it I get if I tell you?
I can provide any desire.
You could provide us with the means to escape this place.
That can be arbitrated, but I must hear your fear first.
What assurances do I have if I share that knowledge with you, that you will hold up your end of the bargain?
In this grimace underneath the mask, you can't see any eyes, but you can see that the grimace kind of turns to a smile as he tilts his head. You have my word.
But I do not know who you are, so your word means nothing to me.
The Arbiter. Is anyone else wishing to chime in here? Sorry, what were you saying, Lucian?
I was going to say, like,
your title, your moniker, does not provide me substance, but your identity. It is merely a label, not an indication of trust, identity, or anything of the kind.
Is my identity. Names. They have no meaning compared to one's purpose. The Arbiter is my purpose. I arbitrate all of the entities of this house and the house with itself.
What entities are here in this house who might testify to your truthfulness?
If you do not wish for arbitration, that is fine. And he starts to begin to look past. You, there. He points towards Emily. What is your greatest fear?
Well, I don't want to discount the important preamble here of obtaining your promise that this will gain us exit.
It gains you access to arbitration.
Interesting. Well, my answer is tediousness. Eternal tediousness.
Eternal tediousness. Delicious. You will find that eternity is quite possible here in the house.
But not with arbitration. Arbitration is the way to exit.
Arbitration can lead to many desires, yes.
Oh, I think we're all in agreement. I think it's the one desire. I think it's a desire of exit.
The arbiter slowly turns back towards Zander. This is your desire?
One of them.
What would another desire be?
The thrill.
The thrill. The thrill of the hunt, I imagine.
Yes.
I can smell it upon you. You will find yourself quite welcome in the Brothers' Wing.
What is the wing?
This house is divided and claimed by various entities. They have taken on various identities and titles. One of them is the brother.
Where
He
can we
turns
find
back towards the door. Feel free to say something, though.
Where can we find the doorman?
The doorman is dead. You, there in the back. He points towards Naveen. Tell me your greatest fear.
No, I will not.
Very well. Two have provided, two have denied. Our arbitration shall be limited, and desires appear to not be united.
I have the same desire as Emily. I also have the same concerns as Lucian. I see no assurances of you being able to give us what we need.
I can only offer my word.
Your word is meaningless.
You call yourself the Arbiter, and you say that we have entered into arbitration. What conflict do you have with us? Or what party has conflict with us to warrant arbitration? Or are you using the term so broadly to mean negotiation?
No, you are indeed in a conflict, but not with myself. I am a neutral entity in this conflict. I can offer assistance. I can leave you to your own devices. But everything I offer comes with a cost. Some of which are more interesting, others are more elementary.
As for which entity you are in conflict with, well, it is several. Any entity you find in this house will likely have a conflict with you, but the greater conflict is with the house itself, for the house hates you.
We are aware. Why does the house hate us?
The house knows no other emotion but hatred. For the house is darkness. It is the enemy of light. And, well, light is fleeting. Darkness is eternal. There is no light in the skies, in the universe that will shine forever. But darkness will always be, and it will always hate the light.
But darkness is absence. Darkness is nothing.
That may be your perspective, but it is skewed. For the truth of the matter is that you are nothing. The world has no respect for you. The world has no place for you. You should feel hate as deeply and darkly as the house does.
Why should we allow the world, which is in and of itself an undefinable concept, dictate our emotions and dictate how we see and how we act? We have control of our own faculties, even if you seem to have lost control of yours due to your presence within this place of hatred and darkness. You choose, just as we have.
Is as fleeting an illusion as the light. If you had control, you would not be in this house.
Control. Control. Why is it you are here and not out in the world where there are so many conflicts that you could arbitrate? It feels as though perhaps you do not have as much control as you think, or you choose to be here.
I am controlled by my nature as much as you are controlled by yours. For I am simply another facet of the house, as is every other entity here.
Oh, so you want us to accept your word? You will fairly arbitrate when you now admit that you yourself, the house, which has expressly stated its hatred of us, how can you arbitrate in a fair and objective manner when you are clearly on the side of the house? You are compromised.
I can only offer my word.
Which, as Naveen has said, means nothing.
2 have offered, 2 have denied. The 2 who have offered must unify the desires, and then we will arbitrate payment.
If the doorman is dead, how do we get out?
that is your desire.
So do you agree, Emily? We must get out of here.
Yes. Naveen, Lucian, should we not all do this together? I don't want us to get separated in here. I think if we go together, that would be the safer option.
I will not split you, but I will demand payment, and it must come from the two who have offered.
So,
If you are truly able to get us out, then I will absolutely share my fear with you, but And she kind of looks down at Emily, and she looks at Emily, she's like, I don't trust him right now.
I don't trust anything in here. Everything that we do it's not right. But we take what's at our disposal, and we can hope for a better offer, but a better offer may not come. You're not wrong.
We
You
don't
and
take
Lucian aren't
the
wrong.
first offer we get. And we might not get another offer, but that doesn't mean we have to take this one. It just
Lucian,
means we
do you-
don't get another offer.
Do you agree? If he's part of the house, we can call him back at a later time, and we just try to stick to our own devices?
If his word has no meaning, then what's the harm of telling him?
Because it's not just a house. It's not a normal thing to be asked what your deepest fear is, Zander. By someone who looks like him. Nothing good can come of that.
Well, he's the first person that I've asked.
Because people don't usually ask that.
Then will you tell me yours?
When we are not in earshot of him, perhaps.
So, Mr. Arbiter, we can all get the same benefit, but only two have to pay the price?
I will not stop you from sharing your rewards with your friends.
That's not a yes. Like, if you're helping us leave, it's not about me sharing that. It's about you facilitating that for all four of us.
I can offer guidance to the exit. Who you bring with you is your choice. You do not travel only with your friends.
Well,
What is it you gain from our fears?
Pleasure. But the fears are not the payment. The fear is how you access arbitration. If you wish to no longer have a fear, that could be a reward I provide as well.
no, we want to get out.
fear.
Don't try to distract us.
There's no reward.
Does this have anything to do with Gil Ravage's eyes on us?
I do not associate with Gil Ravage, but she has been in my company for many years prior, and she is in your company now.
Then the two of us want to get out.
All of us want to get out. I just don't know if this is the way.
Yes. He clearly has not been paying attention to our conversation. His mind has been ravaged.
All of us want to get out. To offer payment.
It must be arbitrated.
Two have not offered payment, Zander. Two have merely offered something to enter into arbitration. He has not identified the payment, the cost, what will befall the two of you if we agree.
Whatever it is, if it gets you out, I'm willing to pay.
Why would you believe that it would get us out? And in what state would it remove us?
Your guess is as best as his. I have no idea.
Exactly. You take great leaps of faith for someone who has so little of it.
Do we ignore him then and just continue on our way and hope we get this chance again later?
Or some other better chance, or find a way out ourselves. I'm not sure about being indebted to somebody who might not, likely will not help.
I can assure you, you will not leave this room in debt to me. Payment will be had. I can also offer to meet you in the parlor room. It is where I am normally fond of staying, but I wish to explore this new wing of the house that had grown. It is not often that the house grows in such a manner, and I believe that I may claim it as my own. If you meet me in the parlor room, of course. I am not a patient arbiter. The price will be higher.
We don't know what the price is now, so guess that's a chance that we'll take then.
You could always tell us what the price would be.
The price is to
allow
be
us to
negotiated. This is an arbitration. It shall be handled fairly and neutrally. There can be
You are
interesting presents
Poor
offered.
arbiter, but your skills at communication are quite lacking. You speak in circles, gyrating this way and that, never quite centering on truth. Either speak plainly and clearly with us and negotiate in good faith, or be silent.
It is interesting that you wish to negotiate in good faith, and yet you have not entered arbitration. But I concede the point. You may pay with
requested
a pleasant memory, a strong memory. You may offer a gift of tribute, but it must be rare. It must be savory. Or if we wish to become more elementary, you may pay with simple blood.
I have not changed my mind. I do not trust you will be able to get us out, because my understanding from your circular reasoning is both that the decision is yet to be made and the cost is yet to be identified.
And the house
Those
hates us
both
anyway.
seem like
so
non-negotiable things.
It doesn't sound so bad. He can help us out. We have no clue. He says the Zolman is dead.
but he also
I
isn't the house.
Can say
could-
all kinds of things to Zander.
Then reassure me that this is the wrong choice or the right choice.
This is the wrong choice. I have not been unclear in expressing that I feel like this is the wrong choice, and I have said why I think it's the wrong choice.
I wanted
Multiple
to take it
times.
because it was offered to us, but if we have the opportunity to find him later, either in this wing or the parlor.
And he might not be the only way out. He is probably not the only way out.
There are other entities
Not
that
the
are
way
part of the
out at
house.
all. I can only guide you to the way out.
You're arguing
There we
against
go.
your usefulness.
I offer the truth.
You offer words, lots of words, an abundance of.
The Arbiter
Offer.
then begins to slowly turn towards Zander.
The cost could be paid by you alone, but I warn you, it is a steep burden to not be shared.
The others argue about other ways, but what other ways in this hellhole? Your price is simply a dust to what can come in front of us. The others don't agree, but I'm willing to pay.
And what do you wish to pay with?
Take my pleasant memories.
All right, Zander, let's go ahead and get an intellect defense roll here. This is going to be rating 6.
That's kind of high.
Yeah, it is.
Is there any support I might be able to provide in this?
Not on this, no.
No.
I think you could argue for emotional support if you were willing to help him with the...
No, that makes sense. I'd just be an asshole.
What if I
didn't
take that back
ask
and do blood instead?
You
Let's
want
go
to try
by
and say,
strengths.
wait, stop?
Yeah, I looked at my character sheet. I remember I'm kind of a different person.
I have my own knife and everything, bro. Don't worry.
I think the Arbiter would be accepting of that, but he would then stop.
Again, it is a significant burden for you to pay alone. This is your final wish.
I will take it. Even though the others disagree.
All right. In this case, it's going to be a might defense roll, difficulty 6.
That sounds a bit better.
Oh man.
Sorry, Arbiter. I reviewed my personality and decided different venue.
All right. Can I go about adding endurance as a skill?
Endurance would absolutely be a skill that applies here. Yes.
And then I'll ease it with might. I have an edge with the 1, so I can spend 2. I can ease it multiple times with might. Is that a thing?
You can spend points, but it's 3 for each time you ease it, and the edge only works once. But that's
Okay.
only if you're tier 2, actually. You didn't
Yeah, you have to have
upgrade
the
to tier
Yeah.
2.
Yeah, you have to have
Gotcha.
the right
I'm sorry,
tier.
my bad.
Yeah.
So I'll do it just once, and then with endurance. So I'll get the 2. Eased by 2.
All right, so difficulty 4.
I rolled an 8. Is that enough?
Which beats
No, it's not.
difficulty 2.
Let me spend an XP to reroll.
Okay.
Shit. Hang on, I got more XP. Let me do it again. Third time's the charm, right? Come on, Cypher system.
Burning all the XP.
All right, I got 0.
Oh my gosh.
But I take the best one.
I don't think the reroll works that way, does it? Do you get to take the
8
X one?
to
think so.
5 to 2.
I could
Oh,
be
man.
misremembering.
I could misremember too. Either way,
I
I'm not
mean,
gonna.
none of them beat a 4, right?
You're
Yeah,
already
they
taking a
don't.
pretty big punishment here of losing the 2 XP, and
Fuck.
so the group of you see that when Zander offers blood, these chains and hooks that were part of the images that were in this room rapidly reappear, and they begin to circle around Zander. And these hooks, they dig in and they begin puncturing his flesh and like pulling his limbs apart, all 4 limbs, until he's in this X shape and almost being lifted off the ground. And you see these punctures digging deep, and blood begins to just pour out, a shocking amount of blood. For those of you who have not had a major injury in your lives, this is a very, very concerning amount of blood that you've probably never seen before, pouring out of Zander here. You could argue that it's 5 people's worth of blood, payment at least, pouring out of him. Zander, you are going up to impaired damaged here. You're not debilitated yet. And you're also taking 4 stress from this.
Okay, I think I have an ability that negates a bit of stress for the day. Let me double check what it is. First 3 points.
That sounds right, yeah.
Yeah, first 3 points I can ignore.
Okay.
Nice.
So you're able to essentially tough it out a little bit. So you're gaining 1 point of stress instead.
Okay.
But the blood nonetheless, and you are still going up on the damage track. As you're being pulled across, the rest of you, you're like so gripped in this vision, this image of Zander being pulled and tortured, that you almost don't really see that the Arbiter begins to slowly back up into the corner of the room, into this corner of shadow where he begins to just slowly blend into the shadow. No, he disappears into the shadow. And as you look again, he's no longer in the room. And as you look back to Zander, after he's gone completely pale, you see sweat coming down, mixing with the blood. You can tell he's in extreme pain. The chains flicker away again, like the projected images. And then we see Zander collapse to the ground. Zander, how are you handling this?
Over. Is it done?
Can we say that Naveen's run over?
Yeah, Emily as well. She's going through her survival kit that she's got on her. So there's like an emergency blanket. So she's like wrapping Zander in that.
How about you, Lucian?
Lucian doesn't care about Zander. He brought up, to be honest with you, I think he was watching the Arbiter, so he might go inspect the corner of shadow to see what is there.
Inspect this corner of shadow, and it is just a dark corner, but you do see in the corner, on the ground, on this concrete, is that green ring, that gem, and you can see that it kind of like captures the light a little bit. As you pick it up and look at it, you see that you turn around a little bit, and it kind of like brightens up a little bit, and you realize that as you're turning around, there's also a door on this side of the room, a door that you hadn't really seen before. It's just a simple wooden door. It looks like a bedroom door type, just simple, basic, with panels on it. But as it gets closer to that door, you see that the ring kind of lights up a little bit.
And he will say, like over his shoulder, "It appears the Arbiter has left us a gift and an exit, at least from this room."
That's good. Zander, so you went through all of that just to enter arbitration. Did he tell you what the payment would be then?
Haven't told anything yet. It's so cold.
Well, Naveen and I will help you up. Lucian found a door.
The blood was the payment.
I'm so very confused.
His fear was the cost of arbitration. The blood that he gave was the cost of an agreement.
So then if he wasn't a lying piece of shit, we should then be able to exit.
Not exit. Lead us to the exit.
Oh, yes. Semantics. Okay. And there's a door. So maybe he was telling the truth.
We know nothing.
We know nothing. Zander, are you okay to walk?
And when he took my blood, am I injured coming out of it? Is it kind of like sealed up or?
So you still have those injuries, those puncture wounds. They don't seem to be as deep as the image made it look like they would be, but they are still very much injuries, and you're still very much on the damage track.
But it's not like you have a bleeding condition to worry about ongoing.
Correct.
I don't think.
Yes.
But to be a bit frail, but I'm fine for now.
Zander, you didn't need to do that.
I'm sorry for going against your will. but
No, I just look at you.
It's nothing I can't recover from.
Do you hope it was worth it?
It's the only reason I did it.
Okay, I'll get your left side, Naveen, if you can get his right side until he can
Yep.
walk on his own.
As the two of you help him up, you look down at the ground. The concrete that was covered in Xander's blood is now back to bare concrete. There is no pool of blood. There's no evidence at all that Zander was bleeding out there. But underneath him, you can see that there has been etchings, like someone carved into the concrete a phrase. It says, "Revenge first, then return home," although it seems very far away.
Revenge first, then return home. Although it seems very far away. Obviously, it's far away.
Revenge for what?
Is it a similar? Has it been written or carved in a similar and as the house giving us the messages in the walls that we have observed thus far, or is it different?
It does look to be similar sort of handwriting with the way it's been carved.
The same handwriting that said the house hates you.
Wants revenge. For what?
Being born. Sorry, I had to do a Tombstone quote.
No, you didn't.
It was a
I
choice.
really did. I had no physical alternative.
You certainly did.
Lucian, we're coming. Slowly.
Lucian will open the door that was revealed in the shadows.
Lucian, you go to open the door, and just a reminder for Zander what impaired is. It means that when you apply effort, it costs 1 extra point per level applied. You're still only tier 1, so it costs an extra point regardless of what you do. You also ignore minor and major effect results on your rolls, and you don't deal extra damage in combat with the special roll.
Gotcha.
Lucian, you open this door, and you find a stairway. It looks like a basement stairway, a rather mundane basement stairway that you've probably seen, dozens of times in your life. It goes down into a rather dark room. There's a single light that shines on the stairway, but something catches your eye, a flicker of movement as you look down this stairway. It seems that there's like a person down there, but no, it doesn't make sense with how the light was shining. It was a shadow that moved. You saw someone's shadow moving, but then that also doesn't quite make sense because the light caught the reflection of the eyes of the shadow, like it would reflect on a cat's eyes. It just doesn't fully register with your mind. It's just very conflicting.
You there. I see you. Announce yourself.
As you call down, the shadow that moves, it kind of like pulls away. It retreats.
There was another in the stairwell. We should proceed vigilantly. We do not know what other entities are near. The Arbiter did say that there are many in the house, all born in one way of the house and therefore hatred. There are none here who will do us good. All mean harm in one manner.
Yes. Yes.
Lucian, as you take a step into this stairway, the ring that was glowing brightly then goes back to that similar state that it was at before, where it still kind of catches the light, but it's no longer glowing. You go down all the way down these stairs?
Yes, carefully.
The rest of you following carefully. Zander, you are capable of walking now, but you're definitely dizzy and lightheaded. The room below is open and mostly bare. It looks very similar to the room you just left, actually. Kind of like an unfinished basement. But there is a sconce lamp affixed high upon one wall and some writing scratched into the floor, almost in the same spot as the room you just left. This lamp has a dark spherical shade on it with a crescent moon-shaped opening cut out of it.
Is there more to read here? What does that say?
If you head towards those scratches, you will see this. Go ahead and read it for us.
The stars in the sky are devil eyes staring down at you. As they watch, do they thirst for your soul, or do they laugh at your pathetic antics? Well, Lucian, did you not just see eyes glowing as you were walking down the stairs? This says stars or devil eyes staring down. Were there devil eyes coming up the stairs as well, Lucian?
There were eyes staring. Whether they were of a devil, I cannot say. Perhaps this place is hell. Perhaps it is something else. I hesitate to assign it a particular term as of yet.
It is all very unkind, if nothing else.
As you look around this room, the group of you have entered, you do see that there are two doors that lead away as well. I take that back. There is one door that leads away, and then another open archway that has no door, but it disappears into darkness.
Is there anything on the archway itself? Any indication of what might lie forward?
I'll take an intellect check here. Let's call it rating 2.
Excellent. Would my perception
Absolutely
be applicable?
Yes.
Yes, I will reduce that to 1 then, and we'll try it as such. That is a success, I think, with a 10. Maybe.
All right.
Is that what that says? Yes.
You look at the archway. Do you have any light source with you? I don't think you do, because you always use goggles rather than a flashlight.
I have my goggles, but I have not been using them. No.
Okay. So you don't necessarily peer into the darkness and see anything. It's very, very dark down that archway. You look at the design, and it seems to be this kind of plaster almost. It looks like early 2000s style design. That would lead from a living room into a dining room, but a lot more condensed. It is the size of a single doorway. It looks fairly modern, actually. But there's no other etching or anything else on there. But as you're looking and you're taking your time, you're still holding this ring, and you notice that as you get to the door, it begins to light up again.
I believe perhaps part of the Arbiter's gift to us, to Zander, was to guide us. In his absence was this ring. This ring now has twice glowed near a point of egress. Could we then conclude that when it is alight, it will be taking us in the direction of an exit from the house of itself?
Seems a reasonable conclusion.
And something I would hope is true given Zander's hefty payment.
What I paid for. Let us go that way.
Indeed. So Lucian will follow the ring.
Lucian, you head into this darkness, and even with the others following behind, they likely have flashlights of some sort, maybe from their mobile phone or an actual flashlight. I know Emily's got the emergency kit. That light doesn't seem to follow with you. It doesn't seem to penetrate this darkness. But the darkness also doesn't last long. As you take a couple steps, you come out of it, and you are in another room that has its own light source. It's very dimly lit. You can't tell where the light source is, but it just seems that there is light in here. And it's almost like a house just about a half hour before sunset. Like it's dim, but you can still see there are long shadows that are being cast, but there's no real sense which way the shadows are coming from. They are all cast in different directions. And you find yourself in this storeroom, but it contrasts with that like modern design of the archway that you saw. This storeroom is mostly wood. It seems to be very much full of like antiques and things like that. It's this half circle shape, and the shelves that go along all these walls are filled with bottles of different sizes and colors. Some of them have stoppers, some are sealed in other ways. There are liquids, pastes, powders, pills, capsules, herbs, and all sorts of strange things filling them. Some of them have labels and some of them don't, as I will show you this. The group of you following behind, it doesn't take long for you to get through this darkness as well, and you find yourself in the exact same room right behind him.
Quite the impressive collection of things here. Dare we avail ourselves of some of this?
You also see that there is a door directly across the room from the archway that you just left.
See if there's anything useful.
Emily will read labels and see if there's something that says, like, take this if you lost a fifth of your blood.
Give me an intellect check. We're going to say it's difficulty 4 here, as there are all sorts of different languages. Some of them are labeled, some of them aren't. Any sort of skill you have with like medicine or pharmaceuticals or something like that would apply.
I do. I am trained in both medicine and identifying. So I think medicine.
Both of those would work perfectly.
Can I throw in support? Because I am also just going to poke around to see what this is.
If you're assisting, so that's 3 eases there.
I would like to call out friendly help if it's required for the real.
What was the difficulty, Stephen? I'm sorry, to start with.
It was difficulty 4. It's been eased to difficulty 1.
Okay. Then I won't spend any intellect if it's just a 1. Well,
and you have the reroll.
Thank you. Goodness, I rolled exactly a 3. Wow. So I'm guessing that like Naveen is kind of the one that kind of points at it, given the need of the assistance here. Like kind of like got us in the right medicinal area of like the things that seem like, well, those are the things that will put you to sleep. So I don't think it's that. So let's kind of go over in this direction then. Naveen pointed out.
As you're looking through, you see that the majority of these items are poisons of almost any sort and variety. This is probably something that you don't necessarily know as much about because it's not really part of medicine, but you would know from medicine that these are things that do a lot of damage. And you would also know that with all of these ingredients here, you could use these poisons to make antidotes. There are ways to counteract these poisons with the dozens and dozens of ingredients that are on these shelves. Similar to these antidotes, there are also remedies for all sorts of ailments and conditions that can be found here. But it does require a bit of time and knowledge. You have the knowledge. You just passed your test. And it takes probably 1 to 3 hours based on what you're trying to make. There are 6 simple, well-marked recipes that use ingredients from these shelves that would all make healing salves.
Well, everyone, I have found ingredients that could help us, though it would mean spending at least an hour in this room, but could perhaps give us a better toolkit if similar costs have to be paid between us and our exit. Do we want me to make some healing salves?
I think that might be a good idea. Who knows how much longer we'll need to be in here.
We can take a breather.
I will spend an hour and see what I can do.
Emily's doing that. Naveen, you were helping search for things too. While they were searching through these shelves, that took a couple minutes. Lucian and Zander, what were you doing in this room?
I'll take a quick action just to recover, if possible.
Yeah. So if you've not taken an action yet today, then it just takes a moment. Otherwise, if you have, it takes 10 minutes. If you have done that, it takes an hour, and so on.
And that'll alleviate
1d6 points, not stress. It gives you points back to spread among your pool.
Okay. And then while I do that, or after I do that, I'll just listen to the edges of the room, see if there's any noises happening.
I'll go ahead and give you an automatic success here. You do hear like the occasional seems to be like skittering. Like if you've ever been in an older home, it sounds like there are mice in the walls. But there's nothing that really like. You don't like that? Or you're disagreeing that they can't have mice in walls?
Well, you remember what happened the last time we played Darkest House and what we did with the wall. We like sledgehammered into a wall.
I don't know what you're
talking
talking
Remember? Just saying.
That was a whole different campaign, Jeff. It does not apply here.
There is no Jeff. There is only Lucian.
But Zander, despite it being unnerving and unsettling, it especially as time goes on, it doesn't seem to be anything to worry about. It's not like it starts to build the same way the droning of the insects did, and it does go away for moments at a time before it comes back. It makes it a little bit hard to rest, but you're still capable of getting your points back. Lucian, what are you
just
doing?
Want to share with the audience that long roll of 1d6 to recover. You got a 1.
Hey, one's
Just
better
to
than nothing.
share.
And you're able to rest again because you will have an hour while Emily's making the potions if you'd like to spend your hour rest. But let's hear what Lucian's doing first because he might call down the devil on you all.
I was considering shooting Zander and putting him out of his misery, but I will not do that. Is this picture you have shared with us an accurate representation of the room that we are in?
Yes.
There are a series of papers on the central island within the room. I would like to look through those, and if they are mundane and uninteresting, then I want to scour the room for writing, carvings, this sort of thing.
So those papers are the recipes that Emily found that teach how to make different antidotes and healing salves and things like that. You're able to go through them and verify the same thing as her. As you begin scouring the room looking for all sorts of writing, you do see a lot of like interesting writing on the labels. You recognize a lot of languages as like Latin, Old German, Old French, things like that. It feels very medieval-esque. Like the room itself clearly isn't, but these items feel like they are much older. You don't necessarily see anything carved into these shelves. There is one thing that does kind of stick out here, is that there is a tiny bellows on one of the shelves. It's like the same sort of bellows that you would use to keep a furnace or an oven hot, or like a blacksmith furnace hot, but much, much smaller. It fits into like a single hand. You can easily lift it with one hand. And this bellows is also surrounded by a few bottles that are unlabeled. They're unmarked, they're stoppered, and some of them are filled with what appears to be this sort of vapor, and others seem to be like filled with a thick gelatinous goop. And it catches your eye because this bellows is right in the center, and then the vapor bottles are kind of like arced out on one side around it, and the goop bottles are arced out on another side.
Is there perhaps a way I could identify substances, the goops, the vapors?
The bottles are opaque, so you can see through them, but just looking at them isn't necessarily going to reveal much. It really is a thick goop. So if you want to like unstop it and pour it out, that's something you could do. But just looking through the bottle, there's not going to be much that you'd be able to identify. It doesn't look like anything natural. It doesn't look like water. It doesn't look like something that you'd have in a kitchen or anything like that. And the vapor definitely feels unnatural, because how do you bottle up vapor? Like, you can get some smoke in a bottle, but it dissipates over time. There's no reason for vapor to still be there.
Are there any empty bottles and stoppers available?
There are plenty of empty bottles around, but not on this shelf next to these.
Could I attempt to use the bellows to blow into an empty bottle to see if that perhaps is the source of the vapor itself, as they are affixed next to one another on the shelf?
Yeah, that's a good idea. You take one of these bottles, you get a stopper, and you put the bellows into it, and you squeeze down on both sides, pressing down. It's a little bit hard to do with one hand, but it's doable. And it lets out this like groan, this like creaking noise. And air goes in, but it's not a vapor. As you do that, though, you get a little bit lightheaded. Not concerning level, but enough that you notice it. And the room itself, it kind of loses a bit of its luster. The color just seems a little bit more muted. The smells, there were so many aromas before, they seem a little bit duller. Even the dust, there's so much dust here. You can taste the dust in the air, and that taste seems a bit more muted after using this bellows.
This appears to be the opposite of LSD, in that it makes everything around you less interesting. I shall call the substance Zander.
I thought for sure it was going to be Linkin Park. It makes you numb.
No. I, both Lucian and Jeff, have better taste in music than to make a Linkin Park reference.
I don't.
He says proudly.
Very curious. I shall take one of the vapors, the bottles, and I shall put that into my messenger bag. I am curious about the goop as well, but I do not want to monopolize the time if there are things others are doing.
So
You
it would
see
just take
Emily's
you about the
got
same.
the-
Sorry, go ahead.
Emily's just got the recipe, and she's just like, obviously it's a brand new recipe, and so she just keeps like repeating the next step and repeating. She's got her little pencil, and she's just kind of making. So she's like perfectly busy for the hour with.
Can
all
I
of his
throw
recipe
in
making.
support for this with encouragement, which is one intellect point that eases the task?
So I'm not going to require a task for making these because she already found the
Okay.
recipes to follow.
Okay.
So if you wanted to do something else while you were in here, Naveen, that would free up an hour for you.
Can I support Lucian in his investigation?
Lucian, are you going to show her these bottles?
You
The
made
vapor,
it, buddy.
No, I am not.
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Nah, no, I can. Sorry.
The vapor appears to have a desaturation effect, both on the color of the room, but its vibrance. It seems to
Point of order.
mellow the vibes.
The vapor did not come out of the bellows. When you squeezed the bellows, there was no vapor that came out.
Oh, I beg your pardon. The bellows, it seems to have done it. I am curious what the vapor inside of this bottle, in the goop inside this other. I am curious if this goop will rival that of Gwyneth Paltrow's, or if it is something even more nefarious, if that is even possible.
It's probably not
So-
possible, but let's help. And instead of my
Yes.
encourage, I would like to see if I can do understanding, which is an intellect point, and it provides an asset to help observe an object.
Absolutely. We already had Lucian do an intellect. No, we didn't have him do an intellect test. He was just searching.
No.
Let's go ahead. I just want to
That
give you the
was-
information if you're okay with that. If you spend the point,
That was the archway.
I'm
I-
fine
I
with
miss
that
him.
because I have an edge too, so.
yeah, I'll go ahead. If you spend the points, I'll go ahead and give you the automatic success here.
I'll do that. Thank you.
I also want to clarify that I am doing it with some level of caution. I am taking, since we have an hour, I'm taking precautions to assure that the goop is not coming in contact with any of my skin. And the vapors, when I unstopper the bottle, I am doing it without being in range of anyone else. So if something terrible befalls me, it befalls only me.
Well, Naveen said she was studying it herself, and she didn't say she was taking any cautions. So
She said
she
she was
unstoppers
assisting
it,
me.
and then it's a nuclear warhead, and everyone blows up.
Point of order. If you would get the dicks out of your ears, you would remember that she said she was assisting Lucian.
That
And
was
he would say to her in the middle of the roleplay that you have denied us, Naveen, stay here. I shall take this to the far side of the room. I shall unstopper it. If something were to happen to me, please make sure my sister makes it out of this house alive.
before you unstopper that. I'm trying to give you some information here.
Are you? It sounded
Naveen-
like you were busting my balls, actually.
I can do both at the same time, Jeff. I know how to multitask. Naveen, you spend a few moments to understand this. You spent the point, right?
I did, yeah.
And as you're looking at these, as you're taking this vapor bottle and slowly twisting it to look closer and closer, there is one point where you see something, and it was momentary, and it disappeared as fast as it appeared. But you see the vapor kind of like twisted and formed a face, and like this mouth that was just open with like it looked like it wanted to scream, but there was nothing that came out. There was no noise whatsoever in this tiny little bottle that you could just barely see through because the bottle is so opaque. It's so difficult to see through that you just barely made it out. But there was 100% a face in that vapor.
And I know it's hard for a fraction, so more than likely I would know this, but it feels stupid not to ask. Was there a face that was recognizable in any way?
No, it didn't seem recognizable. It seemed just like a generic face.
Okay.
There wasn't enough detail. It's so small, this bottle, and it's so difficult to see that you wouldn't be able to identify anything.
I'm gonna say to Lucian with a little bit of rising panic, like, did you see the face? And she's looking at the bottle. There.
What she saw, you did not see. You could try to wait longer and look.
I'm going to take a bottle and I'm going to shake it. Agitate
I'm
it.
gonna try and replicate what I did to show him.
And Naveen, what you did wasn't actually anything that you can really replicate on your own. You were looking, you were twisting at it, but you weren't really shaking it. You were just, it seemed to be the right moment where that face appeared. Lucian,
I can't
as you're...
get it again, Lucian, but it was there. I swear it was there.
I believe you. This place is most peculiar. We are denied basic information. We know nothing. We have no context with which to view this entire place. Our decision-making is entirely impaired. It is much like taking leaps of faith when we know with great certainty that every outcome will be abominable. However, if you would rather I do not open this, I will not.
What were you planning on doing?
My theory, Naveen, is that we will not. And he'll pull Naveen away. I will be honest with you. I do not think we are leaving this place. At least if we are, we will not be ourselves when we do. And if we do leave this place at all, not all of us will be leaving. You heard from Dr. Mallory. He came with multiple friends. He was the only one to make it out. And he did so by interacting with various entities and objects within this house. And his reward, his freedom, was to be considered a serial killer, and perhaps even himself be a serial killer. There is no good ending for us. So in the time that I have here, I would like to do my best to learn what I can of this place as it allows me to. For I have no control in the matter. I can merely poke and prod and hope that what I poke and what I prod will give me something of value and something of use, so that my sister, no offense to you, is the one who escapes this place.
Do not take offense. I think you're right.
I will save this for later. And he'll put the bottle with the face into his messenger bag for later.
Make sure it's well stoppered. Don't let it spill.
I will double bag it. 1 second. Wrap a cloth around it. Push down.
Thank you for
Then I'll
believing
get,
me
like-
about the face.
Of course. If someone says they have seen something bizarre in this place, of course they have. There is nothing mundane about this place. It is a jumble of weirdness an obfuscation.
She nods gratefully. Like, she's not been being gaslit. This is actually terrible.
Oh,
But
I am quite terrified.
she,
But that fear
again,
is quite
is very
useless as well.
appreciative of the commiseration.
Lucina is nothing if not incredibly honest. Now about this goop.
All right, so the two of you are conducting your scientific experiments away from the rest, you said, for a little bit more privacy. Emily, you're working at this table, getting these salves together, and it's coming along nicely. Zander, what are you doing in the meantime?
I'd come over to the work table that she's creating those cells and lean against it or sit against it, start nodding away. Get it like an hour of nap time. Kind of mumbling myself, muttering, "We're gonna get out of here, Emily." And dozing away.
And I think maybe like while he's napping, if Xander's okay with that, she's gonna like have kind of gotten the salve together and see if like without waking him, she can kind of like apply the salve so that like while he's resting, he can kind of get a little bit of the benefit from one of them.
So I used the 10-minute in an hour.
Before we actually do that, you can use the 10 minutes, so that's fine. You can get that point. And then I gotta fuck with you a bit.
Okay.
I mean, before you do that, we've had a couple of raids that we should probably welcome in. So welcome raiders from Rolling Nomads and Yes and Dragon. Thank you for the raids.
Thank you, Raiders. It's a pleasure to have you here. We are playing Cypher system, but we're also playing Darkest House. We're fusing it together. It's all Monty Cook. The house hates you. Zander, you take your 10 minutes and you rest to regain a couple points, and then you start going towards the hour-long nap. Did you also get a single point back for your 10-minute rest?
I got 6, but I went for the 1 hour. I'm not sure if it'll give me yet. I rolled it prematurely.
You don't get the 1 hour yet, but it'll be fine. As you lay back and you go to try and rest, but sleep doesn't really quite come to you yet. It feels like you're almost about to drift off, but then you feel that presence that used to be comforting. It used to give you a warm feeling, but now it feels ice cold. And you're looking around the room and looking for her. You realize that your friends are no longer with you. You're still in this room. Everything's in the same place, but it's just you. And then as you look around, you see walking from around the table, there she is, Gil Ravage. She's got those black curls, that wide, pale face, the doe-like eyes, and what you used to feel relief, you used to feel warmth and comfort seeing her. Now you see her and you just see fury in her eyes. It almost looks like there's an actual fire that's glowing behind in her pupils. Could have been like cake and candy. But no. You brought me back to this prison.
I brought you here. Not by my own volition.
By your own stupidity. Do you know how long I waited to escape here?
No, you've never told me.
Longer than you have left to live. And what will I do then? I'll wait in a room again for another useless idiot like yourself to walk by and pick me up and hope that that idiot is able to escape?
You're doubting me already. You've told me nothing of this place, and you're throwing me away.
Prove to me you have use. Get us out of here. I cannot hunt here. There is nothing to hunt. You are only hunted.
I'm working on it. If anything helpful, then tell me now.
What do you wish to know?
anything. This place is new to me. Every turn, every corner, death awaits.
Well, it seems that you already know what this place is. It is death. It is void. It's a pocket between worlds that folds in upon itself. There is a hunter here. He hunts all here. You've seen him. You've seen his smile.
There's a smiling man?
His smile is far more vicious here in his home.
He wants revenge. What is he after?
He wants the same thing I want. The thrill of the hunt. He lives in this house. He did not create it, but he is a part of it. And he grows tired of some of the playthings here, and he brings in new ones. Useless idiots like yourself, who stumble their way in.
Even if I stumbled my way in, I will stumble my way out. And if not,
It is not that easy. He welcomed you in. He will not let you leave without a fight.
then I must prepare.
And with that, you kind of are slowly jostled awake as Emily is putting salves on your wounds. Emily, the way these salves works is that you have 6 doses of them. Each dose can remove 3 points of stress, or if you're performing a medicine roll to remove an injury, each dose will be an asset. So to heal someone on the damage track is a rating 6 medicine check. And you can use all 6 for an automatic success if you want, or any amount that you'd like if you want to lower the damage track. Or you can simply burn off one of these salves and immediately remove 3 stress.
Zander, what would be your preference? Do you want to get rid of stress, or do you want to get yourself up the damage track?
So we heal 3 stress passively in the hour rest, right? So wouldn't...
Yes, you do.
Yeah, so I'd take the damage would be my preference.
Okay, sorry, Stephen, you just said this. So I need to roll a medicine to try to get him up the track. And so burning one of them would count as 1 asset.
Correct. It starts at rating 6. So if you want to burn 1, that would bring it down to rating 5. You can burn additional ones if you want to bring it down lower, or you can spend points of effort like normal.
And this is intellect?
It's negotiable. I'll take intellect. That seems fair. You're using medicine, and your skill for medicine would apply as well.
Okay, so I've got 1 ease then from using the salve. I've got 1 ease from medicine.
Correct.
Which would,
bring it down to rating 4.
I thought that started at 5.
Started at 6.
Oh, sorry. That's right. 6 to 5 was from the salve, and then 5 to 4 is from medicine. Okay. I'll spend 2 intellect to bring it down to 3.
All right. Point of level of effort. So you're at rating 3 then. You need a 9 or better on your roll.
I rolled an 18.
Look at that.
All that stuff.
So you've still got 5 doses of the salve. But you're putting it on, you're bandaging his wounds. You see that color's coming back to him. Zander, you move back down the damage track.
Thank you, Emily. Whatever you've done, you invigorated.
Oh, there was a recipe right here. So I'm glad it did work for now. Hopefully in an hour it won't have the opposite effect. But if it works for you, then there's 5 others here for everyone else. Now, do I also get the stress reduction for the hour? Or not, because I was busy during the hour.
You were busy, but you weren't doing anything like incredibly intensive. I'm fine with you all taking the 3 stress reduction here.
Thanks.
So all right if I roll a new Cypher as well?
Yeah, that can be part of resting. You can absolutely trash a Cypher and roll new ones.
Sweet.
Or replace any that you already used. So you're spending your time gathering your wits, exercising the mind a bit more. Fortunately, you feel relatively safe in this room. The idea that an entity hasn't quite claimed this wing kind of lingers in your mind. Maybe that is offered you a bit of a reprieve. Not that there aren't plenty of dangers that you've encountered already. And there is just one other door in this room to follow unless you wish to backtrack.
Is the ring glowing when I approach the door?
It is.
Once more, we believe this to be our beacon. Then we should proceed this way.
I'm feeling better. I can lead the way.
I think
Zander-
perhaps
Go on.
you should stay in the back.
If you think so.
Zander. Yes, I do.
I will trust your judgment.
That is why I know something is terribly wrong with you. And then he opens the door.
So this door also does not fit the decor of this room. The room itself seems at least a couple centuries old, with these shelves, and the items on it seem to be even older. But the door is this fairly modern paneled, no panels. It's just a flat, hollow wooden door. It looks like the cheapest door you could find at a Lowe's. And it looks very, very old. It's been kicked a few times. It's got scuff marks all over it. And as you open the door and go into the next room, you find what looks almost like an old motel. It's this blue room with this low bed, a single chair, a wooden table, a wooden box with knobs, and an eerily glowing glass panel. This is written like you may not know what a TV is. It's an old school TV. There's a suitcase with clothing lying on the floor and an ashtray full of old cigarette butts on the bed. The walls are covered in old wallpaper, and there are a few poorly rendered paintings hanging there as well. Shabby curtains cover presumably a window, and one wall has numerous scratches, as though the scratches might form words. You might see a pattern here. It definitely seems like an old shabby motel room, kind of like 60s, 70s era, like it hasn't been updated in a while. Oh, hey, buddy.
Well, it is the Germans, so it actually looks fairly contemporary.
Yes, this is a very modern room for you.
Lutsin will inspect the writing as he has been doing thus far.
All right, 1 second here. You see the scratches on the walls. They are writing, and it seems to be in the same sort of font. What does that say for us?
It says, now you're starting to truly understand, aren't you? Although you probably don't want to. He will, So, it is the same writing that we have seen before, the same script.
Yes.
He's going to pull out whatever blade he had used to carve something before, and he will stand there for a moment, much like the thinker, but not sitting, and he will ponder, or he wants to offer a response, but he is not yet certain what it is. So I invite others to perhaps do whatever it is they want to do first.
What are the rest of you
Emily?
doing?
Emily will go over to the TV and just flip the knob on the TV.
Yeah, the first channel you go to, it's just showing static. Just plain static. You hear that same psh, the white noise coming from it. You change channel again, more static. The static kind of changes, like as if a different image is trying to come through. Like the darkness is a little bit higher up, and then it begins to move down. But it's also a little bit. It's still got that same white noise. You click to a third channel, and here you hear a crackling in that white noise. It's still static. It's still kind of like trying to come up with an image, but it can't quite. But there's like an indistinct voice in the static. You're the only one who can actually make it out here because you're right next to the TV, and even then you can't quite understand what it's saying, but you hear the word house.
She's looking if this is like old enough to have sort of like the loop or the bunny ears, that she's gonna try to like see if it's got like something to like move around a little bit and kind of adjust position.
Yeah, absolutely. You start playing with these bunny ears, and at first it kind of like makes the white noise crackle a little bit, and it changes the static, and then you start to get something, and you do hear almost like a half dozen different voices. They start saying, run, get out of the house, run. And they're all different voices. Some sound like men, some sound like women, some sound like children. And each one, run, get out of the house. There's an urgency to these voices. And at this point, all of you can hear it come through as she clears up the static.
I'm not the only one that hears that, right?
Right, so run? Should we go?
Run where? Where should we go?
Emily will just sort of like in the direction of the TV. Where?
And as you're like, you take your hands off the bunny ears and you say where to the TV, and that static immediately disappears. And then you see like this test pattern. You see the circle in the middle, circles in each corner, in like a cross in the center circle. And you just hear a beep, the doo of the testing beep. And it kind of gets louder and louder until it's like, it's not overpowering, but it's this very loud noise that just kind of echoes throughout the room.
That's not an answer. I asked where.
Naveen's gonna ask if Lucian wouldn't mind just like moving the ring around to see if it lights up anywhere.
Finishing his carving. He's getting his message immediately underneath the quote that I read earlier. I write a Woodrow Wilson quote. It says, "Understanding is the soil in which grow all the fruits of friendship. Are we friends?" And then he will move around the room with the ring and see if we have a direction.
You leave the door that you came from, and there's another door in this room that you take the ring to, and it doesn't actually light up. You take it to the window, it doesn't really light up. You take it back towards the scratches. You're looking at it now, and as you get closer to the bed, you realize it does light up, but then as you get towards the scratches or the door that you came in from, that light fades again.
He will. Is the bed made, or is it?
No, it's pretty disheveled.
Picture?
It looks just like the picture.
He will climb down onto his hands and his knees, and he will search beneath the bed to see if there is a trapdoor of some sort.
You look under the bed for a trapdoor. You don't actually see one, but what you do see is that the bed has like that metal frame that supports the mattress, and you see that there is a a rusted wrench that's like still on one of these bolts. And it just kind of draws your attention. It's the only thing under the bed. On top of the bed, there is like the open suitcase and the blankets and everything else. But under the bed, it's just a couple dust bunnies and a wrench.
We'll grab the wrench. Of course. Does it look as though the wrench was dismantling the bed? Or putting the bed together or repairing, perhaps?
With the angle of the wrench, the way the bite was, it would have been technically righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. Someone could have been using it the wrong way, though. It's not a crescent wrench. It's a fixed size. It's a 5/8.
He will continue in whichever direction he thinks it was initially attempting to do, like righty-tighty.
Yeah, you try to tighten it, and it is tight. It's all the way tightened. It looks like someone put the bed together and just left the wrench. As you are holding this wrench, though, you notice that the ring stops glowing.
Curious. What a curious thing.
Lucian, what are you doing?
The ring has directed me to the bed.
Okay.
I thought perhaps beneath the bed there might be a trapdoor of some sort. But there was not. There was this wrench. And upon grabbing the wrench, the ring has lost its luster. He will place the wrench on the far side of the room, away from the bed, and then return to the bed to see if the ring will relight.
I can't hear
The ring
you.
does
Sorry,
not
sir.
relight when you return to the bed.
Curious. I will take it to the doors, the windows once more to see if it lights up there at all, or anywhere in the room.
It does not light up anywhere in the room until you take it back towards the wrench, a couple steps towards the wrench, and then it lights up again.
Very curious indeed. He'll pick the wrench back up. Does
And
light
the
go off?
light goes off.
It seems as though the wrench is essential to our progress, to our escape. The question, though, is what do we do with it?
Well, the wrench can break a window.
Certainly it could.
Hold one of them and see if anything different happens?
He'll give you the wrench.
And I'm gonna
Nothing
take a
changes
few
with the ring.
steps back. Oh, okay. Can I try holding the ring?
Of course. Give her the
I'll
ring.
trade.
Take the wrench back.
Yeah.
Yes, of course.
You give the wrench back, you hold the ring, it doesn't seem to light up again.
Guess it doesn't matter which one of us wields this.
Perhaps
Or it
spread out.
matters tremendously that Lucian does.
I think I am no more unique than anyone else in our party. I am immaterial. I think it is the wrench in and of itself. But what does a wrench do? Yes, of course. It could break a window, but the intention of a wrench is to tighten or loosen bolts.
True.
So let us look around the room and see if there are others that need loosening or tightening. Or if it was merely, the ring was merely telling us to smash something, why just a wrench at all?
True. A hammer would be better suited.
Yes, of course. But even that would make less sense, because hammers and nails. If we wanted to crack a window or a wall, we should get a sledgehammer.
Naveen
Well,
is going to look around for screws to tighten, but before she does that, I'm gonna go over to the open suitcase on the bed and look at that first to check
Nav-
it out.
Naveen, do you still have the ring?
I do. Well, actually, no. I think I would give it back to Lucy and be like, yeah, no, it didn't. You should borrow it. You can keep it. That's fine.
If you wish.
All right. So Naveen, before you're looking around for bolts, you go to the bed to look at the suitcase. The clothing seems to be again like vaguely 60s, 70s ish. There's not too much there, but as you are looking through, you see under the bedspread, the sheets underneath are tattered and stained, but you also see just the corner of a piece of paper sticking out. You look at it and you see that it's got a letterhead that says the Golden Goose Motel. And on this note, there's this handwritten scribbles. It doesn't seem to be the same writing as what you've seen on the scratches on the walls, but that doesn't necessarily mean anything either, because scratching on a wall and writing on a paper would produce two very different types of handwriting.
Sure.
And it's a list. It says 1, subjects have been missing at least 3 weeks. 2, last seen entering an abandoned house at 778 Sycamore Lane. 3, house was formerly owned by Philip Harlock. 4, Harlock disappeared a few years back. 5, spoke with a Marjorie Stanwyck. Said Philip disappeared but never left the house. Is he still inside? Has no one searched the place for a body? Naveen, I'm pretty sure you were involved in the research phase as well as Emily, so if you see this as well,
Yeah.
you would recognize that address as the address of the Harlock house in Maine, where the original incident happened with the children.
I am gonna call people over to see them and tell them very quickly that I've found something that relates to the case that started all this. And I'm specifically calling them over to this rather than me going to them.
But yes, I will look over your shoulder. Golden Goose Motel. Have any of us heard of this? Do we know if this is stateside or?
It's just my roundabout way of getting there by, but yes, I will reply to Emily. I believe it's Maine, the Harlock house.
Well, and it does just say 778 Sycamore Lane. It doesn't list a state or U.S., so that would make sense.
It doesn't, but that was the same address.
No, right. Just someone who was stateside wouldn't take the time to write the state or the country. So it was probably a local investigator from there.
Mm.
So is now Emily, seeing this, would want to look and see if there is a bedside table, because sometimes if there's like a Bible that's been inserted in like a hotel side table, it might have a stamp as to sort of like a local organization that like donated them. So she wants to like look to that to see if it's.
As you go through, there is a bedside table, but you don't find a Bible. All you find is a cheap pen and then the notepad that it seems that paper came from, where you can see that a piece of paper was ripped off of it. No one actually replaced it with a brand new one or anything like that. It's just blank notepad for like writing down messages.
So
there is a phone on that end table as well, though, that looks like a standard motel phone. And as you open that drawer and you're looking, it begins to ring. Bring, 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 bring.
Emily will sort of look to everyone and I assume it's sort of like old school push button kind of yellowed phone.
Yeah, I mean, it's got the receiver that you pick up, but it is absolutely the old school.
And so she'll kind of look at everybody and pick it up and kind of hold it out. So if someone is talking loudly, everyone will hear it.
Naveen's getting closer.
Emily, I think you're going to be the only one that hears it, but everyone could talk into it at this point. But you hear a voice, a frantic voice, seems like a young man, maybe college age. Naveen, you called. I need help.
Naveen, it's for you.
Take the phone. Do I recognize the voice?
Naveen, it's Albert. It's
Albert, where are you? Where are you? I tried
I
to
don't
call
know.
you.
I'm in some sort of house. I was at the institute looking for you, and I walked in, and I don't know what happened. I walked out, and I'm in this house, and there's this room, and there was a mirror, and I touched the mirror, and now there, Naveen. He's telling me to do things.
You have to get out.
He's telling me to do things.
No, dude, don't listen. Don't listen.
I can't. I don't have a choice. It's like he can control like my movement, and Naveen, he's telling me to dance. Don't listen. Naveen. And then it cuts dead. And you hear that, just the dull diatone.
And Naveen is looking super panicked over at Emily, like,
Who was it?
that was Albert. Oh, Albert wasn't. He just some guy. It was just some guy.
Where? How did he know to call you here?
I didn't say. He didn't say. He said someone was making him do things, making him dance.
So he's here somewhere?
He's somewhere in the house. He's somewhere here.
Okay.
He said he came through touching a mirror.
Oh, okay. So there's more than just the five of us here.
No, and there's more than just one way of getting in.
Okay. Well, we're gonna figure this out. So we're in this Goose Motel. That's where we are now, currently. Lucian, Zander, any luck with the things that need wrenches?
Lucian, you did a sweep of the room with the ring out, I assume?
Yes.
Zander, you helping?
I think I have both at this point. I think
Okay.
Naveen gave
both.
me both back.
Towards the scratches, nothing from the ring. Towards the door that you entered this room from, nothing from the ring. The bed, the window, you open the drapes on the window. It's a blank wall. There is no actual window behind. The drapes were just covering. It looks like there should be a window, but in this room there's not. You move towards the box, the TV box. It starts to glow. No, it's not from the TV. It's from the door next to the TV. The ring is lighting up at the next door again.
What do you mean, again?
Just like before, where each time it lit up at a door to exit the room, it's doing the same thing.
Oh, okay. Understood. Because before it was lighting up at the bed, so I was confused. He will then turn back. It appears we have our next breadcrumb. Naveen, do not presume that was truly Albert. The entities within this place are clearly quite powerful. There is no reason to presume that Albert is here. He might be, I will not lie, but he very well could not be. It is merely an illusion meant to alarm you, to cause you to panic, to cause you harm. After all, the house hates us and wants to only do us harm.
What if he's here? What if he's here because of me?
He is not here because of you. That is most certain. And if he is here, that is a pity. Unfortunately, we have no agency with which to find him. The house will either present us opportunities, or it will not. Suffice to say, our only choice now seems to be to follow the ring. Perhaps it would lead us to an exit, perhaps it would lead us to Albert. What more is there?
So did the ring just
Oh.
want you to grab the wrench?
I do not know, but that was all that was beneath the bed. The ring was lit.
And now
I
it's
took
lit
it.
at the door?
Yes. The wrench perhaps has some value at some point. We will see.
I will also say that Naveen talking about a mirror, you guys did experience a mirror just a few hours ago in character time that was a very large full-length mirror. If you wanted to go look for that again, you'd have to backtrack a lot. But it would be the opposite direction of where the ring is pointing you.
Are we ready to go through the door?
Naveen is going to remind them of that while picking up the phone again just to see if it goes anywhere.
You pick up the phone, and it's just an empty dial tone.
Do you want to go back to that room? It's a ways.
I don't know what I want to do.
Then we'll continue on.
Perhaps it is. Yes. Perhaps it is merely even more evidence that Albert is not here. For the house does not want us to leave. And if we are to operate under the presumption that the Arbiter has given us clues as to how to exit this place via the ring, then the house would do whatever it can to prevent us from achieving that goal. And what better way to prevent it than to have us go in the opposite direction that our tool for escape is pointing us?
Well said.
He's probably okay then, Naveen.
Or he isn't.
True. But I do think there's logic too. That we get out, and we've seen Scratch so many times that the house hates us. And the concern that you're going through right now certainly feels like what something that hates you would want to do to you.
All right, let us go. Yes.
After you, Lucian.
He will open the door. A wave of silence washes over us. Something
Lucian,
mystical, something magical.
you open the door because I muted myself instead of unmuted. And that's where we end the session on the very dramatic moment of being muted.
It's a perfect bookend to how you began
It's true.
the episode.
Oh God, no. All right. Yeah, I'm just gonna mute myself for the rest of this. Maitre, what you got going on?
I multiplays games on YouTube where I make system agnostic or multi-system tabletop content that centers CGM and player experience.
Awesome. As for myself, I am a budding game designer. I've created a game called Huckleberry. It's a Weird West action horror game. It's coming to BackerKit very soon. We've got a whole bunch of cool stuff coming out for it. We've got a new adventure dropping soon. We've got a new update dropping soon. And we've got all sorts of physical stuff coming soon. So there's a lot of exciting things in motion. Go to huckleberryrpg.com to get more information. Jeff, what do we got going on with the channel?
All right, buddy. So we got a couple things in terms of streams. Tomorrow, you can see most of the same people here. Hopefully, we have Ashley. We don't know. Don't know yet. So, but that'll be Call of Cthulhu tomorrow. Monday, we've got my my attempt at game design as we are playing through some We're in Danger. It's a game I've been tinkering with for a little while now. We started it this past Monday. We should be able to conclude the one shot this Monday, and you can see Melissa and Steven in that as well. Tuesday, we have Hardwired Island. We have done our session 0. We've made our characters. You can see everyone but Steven in that game, as everyone, with the exception of Steven, is present for that game.
Literally everyone in the world except me. 8 billion people in that game.
Steven doesn't get the joke. Steven is being very narcissistic and assuming the joke's about him, when in fact the rest of us know that the joke is about Long.
It is.
That's fine.
Because you're playing Long. I get it.
I made Long. I literally made Long in the game. It's pretty good.
I'm sorry.
And then
A good homage.
Next Thursday, we've got Legend in the Mist. We've just started that up. Hopefully, we'll have the full crew for episode 2. And then Friday next week, we're starting a new game. We're starting Conan, as Aaron's going to take us back to Hyboria as we get season 2 of Hyborian Tales. As we're going to be using the new monolith system for Conan. So different system, same setting, and a lot of the same people as we're going to dive into that again. And that's all I got, man.
I tried to get in that one, but he told me my character was dead. There's no resurrections, no takebacks.
Weird.
He told me he hates me and that I can't play. Just like the Darkest House.
Weird. He let us just make new characters. So
he didn't let me do that. I think he just doesn't
Awkward.
like me anymore. Is what it comes down to.
Anymore?
Okay, I'm trying to soften the blow, Jeff.
I like, yet again, Steven is kind of referencing these DMs that happened that, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. To the veracity of those claims.
You got no receipts to prove otherwise.
Neither do you.
All right, that's it for us. Let's get on out of here. I'll have a raid up here in a moment. But thanks for everyone who's hanging out tonight. Thank you for watching this later or listening to this later. We really do appreciate it. But we'll see you all later. Auf Wiedersehen.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Tschüss.